Hello everyone, Summer here, and I was going through a box of stuff the other day, and I found my Mean the Fire coloring book and my Mean the Fire How to Draw book. I've had these for a long time, I just forgot where I had put them. So I'm going to show you the instructions inside this book, and I'm going to show you the dragons I drew. So in this book, the first page tells you all the characters you can draw. Now I found all of them, so I'll show you it in the book. But you can draw Bumblebee, Kinkajou, Tsunami, Anemone, Coral, Awkward, Clay, Sunny, Starflight, Glory, Scarlet, Darkstalker, Peril, Moonwatcher, Kibble, Cliff, Mink, Winter, Umber, Willow, Cricket, Luna, Blue, Sundew, Wasp, and Silver. So here tells you what you may also want. And that gives you some tips. So here you have Bumblebee, it gives you a little description of each character and a little picture, and that gives you the instructions step by step. And then by the end of the instructions, you should have the vivid dragon. So now, since you've seen that gives instructions, I'll show you what the dragon is drawn. Let me get to the first one. Here we go. Here's a little Bumblebee. Now I didn't color most of them. I just have the drawings. Here we have Kinkajou and Tsunami. Oh, make sure to comment below what you think. Next we have Anemone and Coral, based on the instructions within the book. Awkward and Clay. Sunny and Starflight. Glory and Scarlet. Darkstalker and Peril. Here we have Moonwatcher. Here we have Kibble and Cliff. Here we have Mink and Winter. Now we have Umber and Willow. Oh, looks like I have blank page, but anyway. We have Blue and Sundew. Here we have Queen Wasp. And last we have Silver. So that was that. Now we have the Wings of Fire official coloring book. So I'm going to explain the pictures and how I colored them. So we can't tell, this is Clay, Glory, and Tsunami in the caves in the mountain. On this page we have Bait Speaker with her little band of silver scales. And then we have two Ice Wings. I think it's Snowfall and Mink, considering there's the Ring of Vision. Here we have Sunny. And here's an old Sea-Wing coloring of mine that I thought would be my Sea-Wing OC. A blue Sea-Wing with green webbing, but that didn't happen. Here's a scene of Clay and Peril in the arena. If you look closely at the wing, I tried to draw the gold veins Peril is described as having. Over here is Queen WOF. Now, I'm not sure who this baby diving is. It's possibly Moon or Darkstalker. One of the two. And then here's Queen Coral. Here's a random ringwing. I use colorful light because I'm a colorful person. And over here we have Marothier. Over here we have a young Silkwing that looks like it's shortly away from metamorphosis. And I gave her a whole bunch of red gem spots all over her. Over here we have Fierce Teeth. I like drawing my nightwings with a little bit purple on them. I'm not sure why. I'm assuming this baby here is Cliff. And then we have his mom, Ruby. Then here's just this random old sandwing. And over here we have Turtle. Then here we have two rainwings of varying colors. And here we have Icicle. Now this is Clay and Tsunami in Queen Scout's throne room. And over here we have Thorn with the Eye of Onyx. And here's a scene from the graphic novels of book 3. You may have seen this in my graphic novel reading video. But there's Glory when she fought Deathbringer after meeting Blaze. And here's Queen Scarlet with the half of her face melted off by Glory's venom. Here's Sky. You can see I gave him lighter orange scales since he has no fire and he's described as having like orange scales. Both depicted in book 1 graphic novel form and in Legends Dragon Slayer. And here's Bumblebee. Here's a Nightwing Reading School. I gave him a little lantern. That wasn't in the picture, I just gave him that. And here is Darkstalker. Here's, I'm assuming, Burn, considering there's 2 Dragonbite Vipers. I used Graphic book 5 to color in the Vipers. But I didn't know what color they were, so I used the graphic novel depictions of them to color them in. And over here we have another Sunny. Here's Glory with Silver. Here's Flame. Here's the picture of Turtle and Anemone that's on the back of Turtle's book. If you have the hardcover version, you would know that. My book doesn't necessarily have that, but you can see Turtle's armband on his arm there. I gave him the Royal Talon print marking. Over here we have Snowfall and Lynx. I'm assuming this is Queen Oasis with one of her daughters. Then here we have the Whiteout. You can see it left a lot of white patches on her. I think this is Winter and Hailstorm in the Diamond Trial. Here's Scarlet with her normal side of her face. Here's another picture of Deathbringer. Here's Leia's Scarab. Here's Tsunami fighting Orca's statue in the Royal Hatchery in book 2. And here's some simming eggs. Over here's Kestrel with her signature burnt talon print on her face. Here's a moving fighting crocodile. Here's Glory. I'm assuming this is Queen Moorhead, considering about all the jewels she has on her. And here's 2 little baby Hypings, because they're normal. Now this is fun. One day I was just coloring, and I thought, it would be fun to make Leva and Cat Noir as dragons. So here's Leva and Cat Noir as dragons. Up here's Leva with a little sloth Kiki. And down here's Cat Noir. Over here's Fathom. Over here's Sundew and Cricket. And over here's Willow with her little leaf patches. And over here is just regular old Seawing. You know it's not Turtle because he didn't have his armband. And over here is Keebly. Then over here is a baby ring with a sloth. Aw, it's adorable. And you may have seen this in a previous video when I was showing you how to draw a Nightwing. But this is Moonwatcher. Over here we just have a regular old Skywing. Nothing interesting about him. And then over here we have Crane with Bumblebee. Over here we have a baby leaping with a baby jaguar. Oh, Dragon's so cute. Then we have Queen Sequoia. I apparently really like drawing purple and blue ringwings. We know it's this ringwing purple and blue, but this ringwing over here is the same color. Why do I really like drawing purple rings? Anyways, over here we have another picture of Scarlet with her face melted off by Glory's Venom. Over here we have Blue and Cricket. We have Sundew and Willow. Oh here, I'm thinking this is Queen Diamond when she first trapped Bowslayer. And here we have full picture of Bowslayer. Here's a baby Silkring with a butterfly. Here's Tsunami. Here's Arctic when he first gave Bowslayer the earring. Here's Peacemaker. Here's Luna. And here is Swordtail. Then here's just Mudwing. Nothing important. Then here's another image of Moon and Keebly. This is a picture of just a normal Hivewing. Here's a picture of Winter. Now over here we have a picture of Blue and Luna before their metamorphosis. Over here we have a picture of Riptide. Over here is just normal Sandwing. Over here is a picture of Clear Sight with a whole bunch of scroll holes. Over here we have Clay, and over here we have Umber. This is before I had Ken design for Umber because book 16 only just recently came out. We have another baby silk with another butterfly. Oh, I really like purple and blue together apparently. Okay, over here we have Blister. Here we have Snowfall and the Royal Icing Treasury. Here we have Queen Monarch before she had a Ken design. Here's a little baby Seawing. I'm going to say this is the inspiration for the Aqua drawing in the How to Draw book. Because, take a look at this picture, okay? Take a good look. And then let's go to Aqua's drawing in the How to Draw book. Just give me a second. Take a look at this trick and tell me it's not the same. Anyways, here we have Peril and Sky. Here we have just normal Leapwing. Here we have Blue. And then we have a picture of the Dragonets of Destiny, Clay, Tsunami, Glory, Starflame, Sunny. Over here we have Moon, Winter, Peril, Kiwi, and Turtle. And on the last page, we have Sundew, Blue, Cricket, Luna, and Snowfall. That's the entire books that I had for you today. I hope y'all enjoyed. And my video part point is coming along. I'm going to get that out as soon as possible. It's just taking a while. I've been busy. But I hope y'all enjoyed. And I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.